If you're still triggered, the past isn't hurting you, it's commanding you. And that's why small things still set you off, even when you swear you've moved on. A tone of voice, a look, a moment that shouldn't matter, and suddenly you're not reacting to the present anymore. You're reacting to something old, something unfinished. And here's the confusing part. You understand what happened. You've analyzed it. You might even say you're over it. So why does your body still react like the danger is happening now? Stoicism never promised to erase pain. It promised something far more realistic: sovereignty. After years studying Stoic philosophy and listening to people right after emotional collapse, one pattern keeps repeating. The past doesn't hurt because it's remembered. It hurts because it's still giving orders. In the next 20 minutes, I'll walk you through 5 Stoic steps for facing past trauma. Not to relive it, not to deny it, but to stop it from leaking into your reactions, your relationships, and your decisions today. No toxic positivity. No, just let it go. No pretending you're healed when you're not. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to do the next time the past shows up in your body. But before we talk about control, before reframing, before forgiveness, we need to slow down, because most people try to heal by rushing forward. Stoicism begins somewhere quieter, with one honest act most people avoid: acknowledging what actually happened, without flinching, and without letting it become an identity. Number 1. Acknowledge what has happened, but do not let it define you. Most people don't avoid their past because it's too painful. They avoid it because they're afraid it might define them. There's a quiet moment that comes after something painful happens. Not the moment of shock, not the moment of anger, but the moment later when you're alone and you realize this changed something. Maybe it was a betrayal you didn't see coming, a relationship that ended without closure, a failure that made you question your own judgment. Most people respond to that moment in one of 2 ways. Some try to erase it. They tell themselves it wasn't a big deal. They stay busy. They move on quickly, at least on the surface. Others do the opposite. They replay it again and again. They turn it into an identity. I'm the one who was abandoned. I'm the one who failed. I'm the one this always happens to. Stoicism rejects both extremes. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What stands in the way becomes the way." But this line is often misunderstood. He wasn't saying pain should define you. He was saying pain must be acknowledged clearly, so it stops operating in the shadows. Because here's the truth most people miss. What you refuse to name does not disappear. It governs quietly. I once listened to someone describe an event from years ago, something they insisted they were over. Yet, as they spoke, their body tightened. Their voice changed. Their reactions in the present made no sense, until that moment from the past was finally spoken aloud. Not dramatically, not with blame, just honestly. This happened. That sentence matters. Not this ruined me. Not this defines who I am. Just this happened. Stoicism begins right there. It teaches us to separate the event from the self. You are not the worst thing that happened to you. You are the one who noticed it, survived it, and is still choosing how to live afterward. That distinction is small, but it changes everything. A small practice. Take a piece of paper and write plainly what occurred. No commentary, no conclusions. Then write one more line beneath it. This is not who I am. I am the one who chooses what happens next. This isn't denial. It's orientation. It reminds the mind where authority actually lives. Because once you can acknowledge the past without becoming it, something important becomes possible. You can finally stop fighting what already happened and start deciding what still belongs to you. And that brings us to the next Stoic step. Because even when we acknowledge the truth, the past can still feel heavy. So the question becomes, what is actually within your control and what never was? Let's go there next. Number 2, separate what is within your control. If the past still hurts this much, it's usually not because of what happened, but because you're still trying to control what no longer exists. After you've acknowledged what happened, there's often a strange sense of heaviness that remains. Not shock anymore, not denial, just weight. It's the feeling of carrying something you can't put down, even though you already know you can't change it. This is where Stoicism makes a distinction that quietly saves people years of unnecessary suffering. Epictetus said, "Some things are up to us, and some things are not." At first, this sounds obvious, almost too simple. But when it comes to trauma, most of our pain comes from confusing these two categories. We keep trying to control what is already gone. We replay conversations, rewrite endings, imagine different versions of ourselves, who somehow acted perfectly in a moment that was never fair to begin with. I've seen this in people who experienced betrayal. They don't just grieve the loss of trust. They torture themselves with questions. How did I miss the signs? Why didn't I stop it sooner? What does this say about me? Notice what's happening. The event is over, but the mind keeps demanding a different past. Stoicism steps in gently here and says, that part is not yours, not anymore. The past is not something to conquer. It's something to release authority over. But here's the part that often gets misunderstood. Stoicism is not telling you to feel nothing. It's not asking you to forget. And it's certainly not saying the pain wasn't real. It's saying this: you did not choose what happened, but you do choose what you carry forward. Your judgments, your responses, your actions today. That's where your power lives now. A small lesson. When something painful resurfaces in your mind, ask a single, grounding question. Is this within my control right now? If the answer is no, that doesn't mean you suppress it. It means you stop arguing with reality. And there is a quiet relief in that. Because once you stop fighting what cannot be changed, energy returns, clarity returns. You can finally use your strength where it actually matters. But here's something important. Even when we understand what is within our control, pain doesn't automatically disappear. Knowledge alone doesn't calm the nervous system. Understanding doesn't stop memories from surfacing. And that's where many people get discouraged. They think, I know this, so why does it still hurt? This is where most people quit Stoicism quietly. That question leads us to the next step. Because Stoicism doesn't ask you to escape pain. It asks you to meet it and rule over it. Let's go there next. Number 3, do not run from pain. Sit with it, rule over it. Understanding your pain is easy. Sitting with it, without reacting, is where most people lose control. After people learn what is within their control, they often expect one thing to happen next: relief. They think understanding will quiet the pain. That clarity will dissolve the ache. But then, something confusing happens. The pain is still there. And this is where many people lose patience with themselves. They say, "I've done the work, I understand it. So why does this still hurt?" Stoicism answers this gently but firmly. Because pain is not only an idea, it lives in the body, in memory, in the nervous system. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are pained by any external thing, it is not this thing that disturbs you, but your judgment about it." This doesn't mean pain is imaginary. It means pain arrives before words do, before logic, before philosophy. So the Stoic response is not to argue with pain, but to stay present with it without surrendering authority. Most people were never taught how to do this. When discomfort rises, they distract themselves. Scroll, drink, overwork, reframe too quickly. Anything to avoid the feeling itself. But avoidance has a cost. Pain that is not faced does not resolve. It waits. I've seen people who were calm, articulate, self-aware, yet one unexpected comment or moment of silence could undo them completely, not because they were weak, but because there were sensations inside them they never learned how to sit with. Stoicism offers a different posture, not suppression, not indulgence. Observation. Imagine pain as weather. A storm passes through the sky, loud, uncomfortable, unsettling. But you are not the storm. You are the sky that contains it. A small practice. When pain arises, not the story, but the sensation. Pause. Notice where it lives in the body. The chest, the jaw, the stomach. Breathe slowly. Do nothing else. Say quietly, "This is pain, and I am here." No analysis, no judgment, just presence. This is not passivity. It is discipline. Because the moment you can stay with pain, without reacting, without acting it out, you regain command. Pain may speak, but it no longer gives orders, and something subtle begins to change. The pain doesn't vanish, but it loses urgency. It no longer defines the moment, and once pain is no longer in control, something new becomes possible. You can finally ask a different question, not "How do I make this stop?" but "What can this teach me?" That is where Stoicism turns suffering into training. And that brings us to the next step. Because pain faced with steadiness can be transformed, not into pride, but into wisdom. If pain still controls you, understanding was never enough. Let's go there next. Number 4. Reframe the trauma. Turn obstacle into opportunity. If your trauma hasn't changed the way you see the world, it hasn't finished teaching you yet. Once you can sit with pain without running from it, something important changes. The pain is still there, but it no longer feels like an enemy. It becomes information. This is where Stoicism takes a turn that many people misunderstand. It does not say suffering is good. It does not say trauma was meant to happen. And it does not ask you to be grateful for what hurt you. Stoicism asks something quieter and more honest. Seneca wrote, "Nature hath lent us strength to bear all things, not to celebrate them, but to learn from them. Because every experience that wounds us also reveals something about our expectations, our boundaries, our illusions, about what we thought was solid and wasn't." I once heard someone say, "I don't want this to have happened, but now that it has, I want it to mean something." That sentence captures Stoic reframing perfectly. Reframing is not changing the past. It is changing what you extract from it. Think of someone who experienced betrayal. If the only lesson becomes, "I can't trust anyone," the trauma keeps winning. But if the lesson becomes, "I learned to recognize where I gave trust too quickly and how to place it more wisely," then something shifts. The pain didn't disappear, but it stopped being wasted. Stoicism redeems suffering by turning it into clarity, not bitterness, not superiority. Clarity, a small lesson. Ask yourself one question slowly. What did this experience remove from me? Not what it gave. What it took away. Maybe it stripped away naivete. Maybe it ended an illusion. Maybe it forced you to confront a truth you were avoiding. What was removed often reveals what you are now stronger without. This is how obstacles become teachers, not because they were kind, but because you chose to learn instead of harden. And when learning replaces resentment, another door opens, because there is still one final weight many people carry, even after understanding, control, presence, and insight. The weight of holding on to anger, to blame, to the wish that the other person would finally understand. And Stoicism has one last move here. Not for them, for you. Let's go there next. Number 5. Forgive not to release them, but to free yourself. Forgiveness isn't about being kind. It's about deciding who no longer gets access to your nervous system. There is a moment that comes late in the healing process that many people quietly resist, not because they don't understand it, but because it feels unfair. It's the moment forgiveness enters the conversation. For many, forgiveness sounds like surrender, like saying what happened was acceptable, like letting someone off the hook. Stoicism means none of that. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." This isn't moral advice. It's strategic clarity. Because holding on to anger doesn't keep you safe. It keeps you entangled. I've seen people who rebuilt their lives. New routines, new boundaries, new insight. Yet one memory could still tighten their chest. Not because the past was powerful, but because resentment kept reopening the door. Forgiveness, in the Stoic sense, is not about them changing. It's about you withdrawing your energy from something that no longer deserves it. Think of it this way. When you carry resentment, the past is still issuing commands. Your mood shifts. Your body reacts. Your attention narrows. Forgiveness says, you no longer get to live here, not because you approve, but because you refuse to keep paying the cost. A small lesson. Forgiveness begins with a single distinction. Understanding is not excusing. You can acknowledge the harm, name it clearly, and still choose not to carry it forward. Try writing one sentence not to send, just to clarify. I do not condone what was done, but I release the hold it has on me. This is not weakness. It is sovereignty. Because the moment resentment loosens its grip, something rare happens. Silence returns. And in that silence, you realize something Marcus Aurelius understood deeply. In his darkest years, Marcus Aurelius did not write to persuade others. He wrote to remind himself where his power still lived. His meditations were not philosophy lectures. They were instructions for survival. He called this place the inner citadel, a space within you that no loss can enter, no betrayal can occupy, no memory can overthrow. Not because nothing bad ever happened, but because you learned how to meet reality without surrendering yourself to it. You acknowledged what happened. You learned what was never yours to control. You stayed with pain instead of running. You turned suffering into understanding. And finally, you released what no longer deserved your energy. This is Stoic healing. Not erasing the past, not denying the wound, but becoming someone who is no longer governed by it. You were wounded. That part is true, but you are not broken, because what remained intact, your reason, your agency, your capacity for virtue, was never touched. And that means you are free. If this resonated with something you've been carrying, comment just one word: free.